Well, hello, friends and fellow pioneers. Welcome to the Resilient Pioneers Bootcamp Primer. I wanted to share with you this warning to all of you that seek wisdom regarding homesteading off the grid, how to avoid the most costly and common mistakes that beginner homesteaders make. I wanted to share with you some of the most common blind spots that, as a beginner pioneer, can steal your progress, even start to choke your dreams before you even move to your land. I have been in conversation with many aspiring pioneers and beginners, and many people are inspired to take action right now. And some people feel guilty or frustrated that they do not have land yet because they see that the times require preparedness. And I wanted to share this quick primer because I so appreciate hearing wisdom from people that have gone before us. But if you're frustrated that you haven't found, bought, developed, or inhabited or moved to your land yet, I just wanted to share with you some of the things that sometimes behind the scenes we're talking to people about that may bring some insight and some wisdom to help you move forward in your pioneering journey. And I want to share with you some things that I've shared in private conversations with people that are in the same place as you may find yourself right now. And that is that if you're reading or hearing this and you don't yet own land, I'm actually very glad for you that you have not purchased property yet. Because what you truly want will not come with everything that you need in it. Everything that you are aspiring to have, you'll have to work at it. And as far as building community with new neighbors, it takes time to build trust naturally. It can take years and years. Everything worth having requires a process. And there's so much to consider in buying land to meet your unique personal needs. Many people, including us, made lots of costly mistakes in buying property. And for us, our first few properties, and some of those mistakes have set us back for years. Actually, one project it set us some of these things I'll share with you set us back nearly a decade. Being really strategic in designing your resilient lifestyle starts with your vision, and then you can work your way back in the steps that you take to get there. Just like you would not want to start construction on a multi-story building without getting a civil engineer or architect to help you make sure that you have a solid blueprint and relevant floor plan. If you're not clear on your vision, you need to invest in that first. There's so much time and money and attention that can be wasted if you're not clear on what you're after. So the first step starts in understanding the pros and cons to homesteading and defining why you want to do it. What do you expect to get out of it? We highly encourage people to have a solid strategic plan before investing any time, efforts, or money into buying land, homesteading, gear towards their journey, or any off-grid living supplies or trainings. You've heard the saying, don't get the cart before the horse. And we pretty much have a PhD in doing that over the years. I invite you to keep that in mind as you look at buying land. Now, aside from the considerations of the market, I want to just remind you that it takes real humility to receive wisdom. And so, if you're ready, I wanted to share with you one of the first of three most common mistakes that I'll share that beginner homesteaders make in pioneering a new lifestyle, homesteading off the grid. That is Avoid rushing into a buying decision. Don't rush to buy. You gain no momentum if you hurry up to buy something. You're draining your funds, your savings, and get yourself into a new trap. You're trying to set yourself free, invest in a new project for your family, for your homesteading lifestyle and business, perhaps a resilient eco village. But rushing into it can really set you back. I love the Proverbs that says, the plan of the diligent surely leads to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. The path to success is often counterintuitive. And I wanted to share with you something that I wrote, a group of aspiring pioneers. Aside from the consideration of market conditions, buying a homestead is generally a long-term commitment and a choice that should not be made lightly. You would not want to hurry up and get married because of opportunity cost. In the same way, you need to have a solid vision and a good plan based in your family's unique needs, beliefs, and values before rushing into a purchase that may affect you for years and possibly decades to come. For some families, it's generations. It's also really important to understand your personal strengths. Many people buy their first piece of land without understanding how to appropriately select what they need and soon after find themselves regretting their choice. It's important to know how to watch for fear-based decisions and instead learn to make faith-based choices. Now, I want to share with you, if you haven't already heard the story, that decades ago, the Bolivar, which is was the name of the Venezuelan currency from my home country, it was nearly stronger than the dollar, and now it has no value in the exchange market. If that's not bad enough, hyperinflation made it basically worthless as a national currency, and my parents and many other people that worked there their entire career, soon after they retired, their pension became worthless. So you've probably heard me say this if you're not new to hearing our message, but it bears repeating. What I recommend is to turn your soon-to-be worthless cash into things and skills that you'll regret not having invested in when you had the money and access to acquire them. Now, I want to just share with you this very inspiring quote. If you haven't heard me say it before, because it's really important to understand yourself first. And I really love this quote that I've heard Coach Bill Barron say, and that is that you are the last safe investment. In a world full of uncertainty, investing in mastery is something that you can control. And learning to be masterful is one of the most important skills that you can learn. Now, I talked about the importance of understanding whether you are just making a reactive decision based on fear or a strategic response and a choice based on convictions, based on truth. So the second thing I wanted to share with you is don't start without a personalized blueprint. Having a roadmap with the best routes to help you get where you want to be is critical. And I do agree in diversifying your assets and having different things that different places that you invest your assets. But it's really important to not put all your eggs in one basket, which in this case would be land that you don't yet know how to nurture or multiply. It's like I mentioned before, it's so important that if you were going to have a building construction project that you have a tried and true framework for how to build it in a way that's going to be sustainable and strong and last for the goals and purposes that you're designing the building. So working with an architect and a civil engineer and people that understand what you're trying to do and the parameters and the limitations are really important. In the same way, investing in your plan is critical and important. Having a process-centered, personalized, strategic blueprint can help you avoid the burnout from costly mistakes in time, money, and relationships that so many beginners make. And I believe the best time to prepare is before you have an emergency. If you are feeling like you need to get started and you need to purchase land or you need to move to your land, but you skip steps and take shortcuts, you may thrust yourself into an emergency. If you also look at the times, you may be feeling an urgency in that crises are coming. And if you look at Johns Hopkins University, their website has some information about their Event 201 simulation exercise. And I happen to have come across this quote that really affirms some of the things that we've been sharing. And it says, once you're in the midst of a severe pandemic or crisis, your options are very limited. The greatest good can happen with pre-planning. And I believe that you want to avoid shortcuts. Fast tracks are tried and true ways to get there. And I believe that in a world of uncertainty, the only way to prepare ahead is to first learn how to prepare inside. For Jason and I, despite our best intentions and huge library of information, there were so many things that we did not know about ourselves. And it's important to understand that I'm not against you buying land, but I don't recommend rushing into it as a parachute. I've seen people crash and burn depending on one solution to solve their lifestyle problems or one major investment. And I've heard so many wise investors say, study and understand what you're investing in. And in this case, it starts with understanding you. And the third thing I wanted to share with you that you want to avoid doing is going at it alone. Pioneering a new lifestyle, homesteading off the grid without the right support can lead to devastating failures, frustrating delays, and missed opportunities. And a revelation that I had, a painful revelation, is that it's not worth getting ahead if you leave something of value behind. It's not any different in buying land as it is designing your lifestyle. They're so connected. It's crucial to know what you're getting into so that you'll be able to survive and thrive in time of crisis. Living a resilient lifestyle is not something that's taught in school. So designing what's best for you is going to take much intentional effort. So hopefully this will inspire you to not do it like we did and go into pioneering all alone. Invest in your community first, in your support framework. Learn from your mentors and be strategic to plan your resilient lifestyle investments. The best way to find that fast track is to find mentors that have gone before you and can show you the way. Because the truth is that you could be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. And the times really call for knowing what your assets are. It's time to have a reality check and take inventory of your assets and liabilities. And if you know that pioneering is important to you, there's no time to waste. Now, we felt this urge about 12 years ago, and we left the comforts of what we knew behind to homestead off the grid without previous experience. And I've shared this in previous presentations. So if you are new to our channel, I invite you to go back and watch some of our intros. But this message is for people who want to break free from the crippling dependence of consumerism. You want to take charge so that you're not dependent on the systems that were designed by people that don't have your best interest in mind. You want to buy raw land and develop a resilient homestead with tiny homes off the grid so that your family can thrive no matter what is happening around the world, and you can even help others. The reason that mentors are so important is because there's an abundance of information out there, and anyone can have an abundance of information that's relevant, but it takes true wisdom to know which of that information is valuable and actionable. I do want to always encourage you, if you are married, the wisdom in Ecclesiastes is priceless. The two are better than one because they get a better return for their effort. Always seek to be in unity with your spouse before you invest in anything that has to do with redesigning, shifting, rerouting your lifestyle journey. And as I said before, everything worth having requires a process. I became a student of process consulting, and we poured for years into designing frameworks for students in our academy. So a final word of inspiration is that you can conquer the road less traveled, and it doesn't have to be so scary or painful, risky, or have to take decades like it did for us. There's a faster way, and we can show you how. I invite you, if you have not already, subscribe to our channel, Producing Freedom. If you've not considered getting a mentor, reach out to us and we can share some insights, starting with the Resilient Pioneers Fast Track series that I'm calling a boot camp right now, to help you answer the question, do you have what it takes to survive homesteading off the grid? And some last words from Proverbs is that plans fail when there's no counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Make sure that you have a team of people around you to help you have the right support for this journey. And finally, just want to, if you're considering if the information that I share is for you or moving forward with the resources that we're sharing are for you, if you feel an urgency to prepare, you feel the clock is ticking, and you want to be the one taking responsibility to provide for your family, not depend on organizations to do that for you who do not have your best interest in mind, and you want to build a resilient lifestyle, business, and homestead with tiny homes off the grid to thrive and not just survive in times of crisis, then I invite you to join us on this resilient pioneering journey. And lastly, if you've been putting this off for a long time, I just wanted to ask you a question that many mentors in the past have asked us. If not now, then when? And with that, I just want to leave you with a blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you, shine his face towards you, turn his countenance towards you, and give you shalom peace.